that was shockingly accurate. It was next to identical to the final release of the iPhone 6. This year, this is no exception. It'll be the very same color option that Apple will be offering. Now, GoPhone 6s didn't stop at copying the design. They copied the packaging even. I mean, these guys go so far as to convince you that this is the real deal. I mean, I've heard of these things even being used to scam people because they were so similar to an iPhone 6. They didn't even stop at the packaging. They made it just as difficult to open as Apple's. That is some really, really crafty copying. Now inside we have not too great of an appearance for the 6S. It's covered in this little plastic baggie and it's got two screen protectors on it, one on the front, one on the back. But as far as build quality goes, wow, this thing is shockingly similar to an iPhone 6. I mean, the materials themselves feel premium, better than last year's even. And the color, I gotta say, it looks great. There probably will be a different shade in the original thing, but the color will be extremely similar. So let's go ahead and boot this guy up and see how they compare. Inside the packaging, you'll find generic accessories that are very cheap, and you'll actually get that SIM tool. Apple has actually offered this in their packaging for years already, and unfortunately, no Apple stickers. Now, we're less than 2 months away from the official release of the iPhone 6s. Around this time, every time a year, we start receiving a whole bunch of rumors, and more accurate the closer we get to the actual release. And this year is no exception. The new color option is, of course, a given. However, there will be no big changes to the physical appearance. There is a chance that it could be slightly thicker than the current 6 in order to accommodate the Force Touch display, but other than that, it will look the same physically. Now, last year's clone didn't even come close to the build quality and attention to detail this year's one has. Even the True Tone flash module has been changed to match the 6. Now, even the heft is there. When you pick this thing up, it doesn't feel like a fake, so be careful, guys. There will be a lot of fakes out there in the future. These things have a very similar build quality. It's only when you turn these guys on and start using the software that you notice all of the differences and lagginess. However, it is a mile better than last year's version. So just to give you guys an idea, here it is, and here is the iPhone 6 on the right. So this thing is pretty much running a skinned version using Apple's latest iOS 8 firmware on an Android APK. So as you can see, actually opening up applications, there's a huge delay between them. A lot of the settings are extremely similar, but there are some differences in order to accommodate for the Android version. However, I'm extremely impressed how much work was put in to making this thing replicate not only the design, but Apple's iOS system as well. Now, what this clone tells us is apparently iOS 8.2 was a better firmware than 8.4, so Apple is going to ship all of the 6Ss with 8.2. Now, going into the app switcher, it's extremely similar. This version of the clone, it's faster, has better internals, so everything works a little bit better. It's more fluid than last year's. Control center, it doesn't actually allow you to drag it down. It just either goes up or goes down. You can't hold and drag like you could on the iPhone. The camera is an abomination. You open it up and you get a matrix filter. So apparently this thing is either straight out of the Matrix or there's a filter that I can turn off and disable that I couldn't find, but it's all green and I don't know. I would recommend this to any Matrix fans. And a couple other tidbits. So the App Store is actually the Android Play Store with a different icon. Safari is replicated pretty well. It doesn't work as well though. The music application is the old one. I'm disappointed that they didn't update to the latest one, but guys, this is a really interesting device. I don't even know what to make of it. Of course, it's not anywhere near even an iPhone 6's quality, let alone the 6S, but it does give us an interesting look into the color choice that will be available on the 6S. So how much does this thing cost? Well, $140, less if you buy in bulk.